Hey friends, this is the Mrs. Wolfie from our half acre homestead with tea break take number 3. The phone keeps ringing. I keep forgetting to shut it off, but I don't want to shut it off because I'm waiting to hear from the pool guys. This is my first hot cup of tea in 4 days. And the first couple of sips, I almost scorched my throat and I almost choked on them because I was so happy to have it. But I've been drinking homemade low sugar sweet tea and ice water for 4 days. This is going to be a rambling tea break because this is take number 3 and I'm going to forget what I said. So I've shut my phone off now that the important stuff has been taken care of. Not that you're not important, you're really important to me. But anyway, I need your opinion for starters because I am using my blue snowball microphone. And the reason I'm using my blue snowball microphone is because it has a directional thing where it can record just my voice, hopefully, and drown out a lot of the noise that's going on around me. And if that works, and I need to hear you guys. I need to know from you guys if you're hearing all the fans and the dogs and the roosters and everything in the background, because if you're not, then I should be able to read and record with this microphone, okay? And I'm going to be somewhat distracted because of all the noise. Among other things, I have an auditory processing disorder, okay? Part of what lead did to me when I was a kid, okay? I was overdosed badly with lead on a continual basis at my school when I was a kid. And that's one of the reasons my brother Bob and I, the 2 youngest out of 5 kids, are in the worst health, is because we were going to the school at the time that I remember getting our fingers pricked and finding out that I had 10 times the acceptable amount of lead in my blood. Now, the reason that's a scary thing to hear is because lead, unless it's immediately in your system, like on a continual basis, it really doesn't show up much in blood work, okay? It settles down and goes into your bone marrow. So it's really hard to track. But when they prick a child's finger and they find 10 times the acceptable amount of lead, there's a problem. So anyway, among my other myriad things, I have an auditory processing disorder, which means if there's a lot of noise going on around me, I'm hearing it all, okay? I'm hearing the fans, the roosters, the dogs barking, the cars going down the road, okay? And it's very distracting. Unless you're looking at me, I have a really hard time hearing what you're saying because I hear everything, okay? So it's a combination of looking at you and reading lips and reading body language. I'm not deaf. I hear everything. That's the problem. And so my filter, this is one of the reasons why stuff just pops out of my mouth sometimes, because my filter is a concentrated effort for me to filter reactions to what's going on around me all the time. Ask the friends, ask all the people who showed up at the Michigan meetup. They'll tell you, I don't have a filter, and I was constantly swiveling in my chair because there were people sitting behind me and I couldn't handle it, right? For instance, when we would travel anywhere with my mother-in-law, she had this habit of sitting behind me in the truck. And although I tried to explain it to her, it never sunk in. She sat behind me so she could watch her son and talk to her son. But the problem is Nan would always be like, wherever we were traveling, she'd read signs that were going along the highway. She'd talk about what she saw, but she was just talking to herself. So sitting directly behind me, all I heard was, right? And so I would keep turning around and saying, what was that, Mom? What was that? Oh, no, I'm just talking to myself. What was that, Mom? Oh, I'm just reading a sign. What was that, Mom? Oh, no, blah, 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 whatever, right? So I'd say, okay, if you need me to hear what you're saying, you have to you're going to have to like touch my shoulder or talk to me, you know, or say my name because I'm not hearing you properly. And of course, there's also the fact that my neck doesn't work that way. I have to completely almost like this is as far as my head will turn. Okay, so I have to go completely around with my body to hear her. Not that I have to do that anymore because she's not coming here anymore. That's her stuff. Anyway, so I would say, "What's that, Mom? Oh, I'm just talking to myself." Blah, blah. So, and then I would hear, blah, 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 and I would learn to tune it out, as I try to do with everything else around me. And then all of a sudden, you'd hear this pipe up from the back. Well, nobody wants my opinion anyway. It's like, what? What? What was that? Right? So I did ask her to move to behind the driver's seat, but no, she was comfortable where she was. Whatever. So that's my auditory processing disorder. So if I'm a little scattered here, it's because there's a lot of noise going on around me, and this microphone should cut that back. It's been a crazy week. My pool was supposed to be installed no later than today, and do yourself a favor, folks. Don't check your email or phone messages while you're still in bed in the morning, because if you don't like the messages, it's going to color your whole day. At least it colors mine. I was a crazy woman yesterday. All right. This heat, okay, the heat has been nuts. All right. I've been sending Papa out on the worst nights of it to sleep in the air conditioning in the coach. Now, before everybody tells me to go sleep in the air conditioning of the coach, air conditioning does not work well with me on a regular basis. I can't have central air in the house. Somebody made a comment that, oh, I'd have central air before I'd have a pool. No, that's not how it works for me. Okay. Central air is awesome, like if you live in Arizona or whatever, but it doesn't my body temperature doesn't regulate with the way it's supposed to. Okay. And there's also the fact that the bed in the coach is a double and Papa is a furnace. Okay. We have to sleep with a rolled up blanket lengthwise between us because I can't touch him because he's so hot that I have an instant hot flash. Forget air conditioning. Okay. And I can't sleep in a chair, and even though it fully reclines, because I have to be able to sleep on my side and my back, they don't go flat, right? So there's a whole myriad of reasons why I can't go out and sleep with Papa in the air conditioning of the coach. And so I've been sending him out there to sleep, and I've been having my... Oh, I got a call coming in. Just a minute, please. Hello?
Allô, bonjour.
Hello? Anglais, s'il vous plaît?
C'est Péravie de Montréal de la compagnie FSM Smart. Vous allez bien?
Anglais, s'il vous plaît?
Pardon, madame?
Anglaise, s'il vous plaît?
Attendant at Péravie de Montréal, account manager in FSM Smart Company.
Who?
To FSM Smart Company.
I'm sorry, you're going to have to find somebody who can speak English to me. Thank you. This is what happens. They send people to call me in French. And when I say anglais, s'il vous plaît, they just continue to talk to me in French, and I don't understand them. Right? Anyway, and I dare not answer the phone because you'll understand in a minute about the pool thing. So don't answer your emails and stuff, because yesterday morning I woke up to an email saying that the pool that was supposed to be delivered and installed by no later than today is going to be delayed by a week to 10 days. And that could be longer depending on the weather. You see, there's a law that says if it gets above a certain temperature, outside workers don't have to work. And if it rains, outside workers don't have to work. So I immediately had a panic attack. And I started phoning people saying, I knew this was going to happen. I told you guys right from the get-go that I wasn't going to buy the pool if it wasn't going to be installed before my anniversary pig roast. And now you're telling me it might not even get up there in time. And of course, Papa had kept the old pool, all the parts, just in case things went awry. We got rid of all those parts last week because we had not heard of any delays or anything, and we assumed incorrectly, I guess, that the pool was going to go up today or yesterday. But I phoned them and ripped strips off of everybody who I've since apologized to. The heat kind of addles your brain a little bit. And I got a phone call this morning from the boss at Trevi Pools, the owner of Trevi Pools, saying that he has expedited and hopefully my pool will be the first on the docket next week, weather permitting. So if it's too hot or if it's raining, it's going to be delayed, but they're doing the best they can. Because I had to explain the air conditioning and my health. You know, if I was just a person who was pissy because my pool wasn't being put up on time and I ordered it in May, I'd hang up on me, right? But I had to explain to them, this isn't just a pool. This isn't just for kids to play in and stuff. This is my health. Okay, the pool, I have a pool for a reason. And it's for weather like this that keeps me from getting violently sick. I had heat stroke when I was 17, and I don't think your body ever forgets that because I get violently sick. If it gets too hot and I can't maintain a certain amount of body temperature with fans and cold water and cornstarch and ice water, I can't even eat or I get violently sick. So I got a phone call this morning and they said it's on the docket. So I'm really, really grateful that they had a lot of patience and tolerance for the crazy lady on the other end of the phone yesterday. We had a storm day after Canada Day, a couple of days ago. And we happened to be in Wakefield at the time at the Giant Tiger store. I sold all my turkey poults, all the 13 that were in the bin in the house. Thank God, because that supplied Daddy and I, well, not all of it, but a good chunk of that went to things like popsicles and bags of ice because my ice maker, if it's really, really, really hot in your house, folks, those Igloo countertop ice makers really, really struggle. And they have a fan on the side and you can't put anything near that fan or it'll overheat and all you'll get is little plots of slush. So, we had to buy bags of ice and fruit popsicles and all those things that just help, right? So I sold my my 13 turkey poults, and I lost 3 of my 8 that were out in the barn due to heat. Not much we can do about that, really. The big wide barn door is open, and then we open the front door, the one that's by my path, and hopefully air circulates that way. But it's just been too much, too much. What else is going on? So we had a storm, and we were in Wakefield, and it just started to rain as we were running Bev was doing the fibro shuffle to the truck. And on our way home, we got stopped because apparently, when it's really, really, really hot and it rains, the first wetness that hits that hot pavement turns the highway into grease. Trust me, I know this. I totaled our old Acura when I worked at the bakery because I touched the brakes during a sun shower, and so we got stopped, and they said, we were on a section of the highway that I knew there was a store up ahead, so I phoned the store, And I said, "What's going on with the traffic?" Because we were on parked on the highway. And she said, "Oh, well, the power's out and there's been an accident." And I said, "Okay." So we turned around and went up a back road, and we started noticing that trees are pretty chewed. A tornado must have come through. Um, Gatineau, and I think Gatineau got hit worse than we did, but it just looked like one of those machines that chews all the trees and shrubs in the ditches. It looks like that went through. So I got out my phone and I started filming, and I said to Howie, "Slow down, because you never know what's around the next corner." And 2 corners later, there was 3 trees down across the road. And so we had to turn around, go back to the highway. But by the time we got back to the highway, the traffic jam had cleared. So but it really didn't break the heat at all. Break the heat at all. So it's been pretty crazy. I can't even go out and work in my garden because I can't cool off in my pool. All right. That pool. Oh, and for the person who said, before I'd spend good money on a pool, I'd get central air. I can't do air conditioning. I can if I have to, but I swell up. I swell up like a balloon. My hands, my feet, my legs. If I'm in air conditioning too long, okay, it doesn't regulate my body the way it's supposed to. I don't know what happens to me in air conditioning. Like when we had our mobile home, we had a park model in Arizona, and the air conditioning was a must, but there was no humidity, right? And air conditioning helps with humidity, but I still swell up. So, to the person who said that I would sink the money into central air over a pool, well, there's more than one reason that we have a pool. A, it helps me regulate my body temperature. B, every time I work in the garden, I end that with a trip to the pool, because otherwise I will desperately overheat no matter how small my garden is. C, it's where I exercise. It's how I get my exercise. And D, it's where I get my vitamin D. So that because I suffer SAD in the wintertime, seasonal affective disorder. So I have to spend as much time out in the sunshine in the summer as I can. Yes, I take vitamin D3 drops, but I still need my sunshine. I still need to store it up for winter. So there is many, many reasons I have a pool, and only one reason to have air conditioning. And you know what I mean? Um, so that's kind of what's going on. We're staying cool. The thought that I wasn't going to have a pool for I just was like, it's there. The world is conspiring against my anniversary party, because there's people that can't come, and my pool may not be ready, and all that stuff. It's just, I almost canceled my pig roast yesterday. That's how upset I was. Now, um, let me know if you just heard my dog barking, because I need to know. Anyway, uh, what else is going on? Oh, I I have a shower. This is how I cool off. And I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but remember, this is take 3. How I cool off is I have a big box fan in my bedroom window that pulls air out. I have an industrial fan that I got at Princess Auto, a high velocity fan that sits on my dresser, and the wind just from it goes right over my body and out the window. I shower in cold water, and I stand under cold water until the water hitting my thighs stops being warm. Because by the time it goes from my hot head to my thighs, it's like body temperature. So I stand under that shower until the water hitting my thighs is cold, and then I dry off and I cover myself with cornstarch until I look like the Michelin Man, and then I lay between those 2 fans, and that works for me. And remember, folks, in this heat, just because you have air conditioning doesn't mean you don't need to hydrate. Hydrate, hydrate. So this is the perfect opportunity to test this microphone because for some reason the roosters are crowing and Peppy won't shut. Peppy, I still call her Peppy. Frankie won't shut her mouth. So let me know if you can hear them barking in the background along with the roosters and the fans and stuff. Anyway, also, I can't find it here, but my hand, I can now today touch all my fingers, but it's still very, very stiff in here. This is where my rheumatoid arthritis has started 20 some years ago, is in the bases of my thumbs. Like you can see these lumps that developed. And when we got home on Canada Day, I had to I had to change my little turkey poults because they were in a plastic bin. So I had to make sure that they didn't have a light, but they had an LED light and all that. I wanted to give them fresh water, all those things, clean their bin, all that stuff. Well, the waterers I have fit on a mason jar. And it's just a little trough that you screw on to the jar and then you flip it over and it has a little waterer. Well, I went to unscrew it with my right hand and it went. And it's the worst it has ever been. I don't know if the heat had something to do with it. I don't know if I broke something. All I can think of is that I must have chipped a piece of bone spur in my hand and it went into the joint because it was swollen until this morning. I couldn't do this. And this is still swollen. My hand was all puffed up. Never, always, always keep horse bandages around because they work better than a tensor bandage. And I've been wearing this. This is the first day I haven't had to really wear one at bedtime. I could not use this hand at all. So that's another reason you haven't really gotten a whole lot of videos. Okay. The heat, pain, all that fun stuff. But never underestimate the power of horse bandage because that should always be in your home. This is the Mrs. Wolfie from our half-acre homestead saying, you know, it's still going to be hot, but if my pool is here next week, I will be able to survive with my sanity intact. I hope everybody is staying cool and keeping hydrated. Take care. God bless.